Hey guys, you Prepper here, and want to take a break from my normal videos that I've been doing and talk to you a little bit about this coronavirus and what I think is going on, how I feel about it, etc. I know a lot of you are probably fed up hearing about it because I was. When this thing first started out, I just assumed that it would be much like any of the other, outbreaks that we have when we get, say a bad run on the flu or swine flu, the different things that goes on around the country and in other places around the world. But I've been keeping an eye on this thing. And one of my questions that I want to ask you guys, and I hope I get a good response, serious responses down in the comments for this question, or these questions. And that is, when do you know it's time to bug out? Simple question, right? Fair, straight, to the point. For me, I don't know, a lot of you may have been following my channel long enough to know that I did a video a while back talking about my bug out location, and I shot that video at my home where I'm moving from, where you see all of my Planting Alabama videos. That's where I've been living for, a couple dozen years at least. But anyway, I mentioned my bug out location, and that location is the location where I'm building my new home. If you follow this channel, you see that it's been off to a slow start, but it's starting to pick up. But how do we know that this thing is going to subside? When do we say, okay, it's time for me to get me and my family out of here? I started building this house, and it's in light of some of the information that I've been getting, some of the research I've been doing on this CV. It's kind of forcing my hand to move forward with the build a little bit faster than I normally would, simply because I'm seeing here in my state, and I'm pretty sure across the country in other places in the world, that they're closing down a lot of the different institutions. As a matter of fact, I got a notice just a couple of days ago from my banking institution that they're going to be closing the doors, and that they're not sure when they're going to reopen. Now, that right there really got my attention, guys, and that's one of the reasons I decided to go ahead and do this video. Now, when your banking institution closed, you're about to have some serious trouble, because if you don't have the cash on hand and your banking institution is closed, you're most likely not going to be able to go out and purchase some of the items that you need. Price gouging, that's going to be one of the biggest things you're going to see. I'm not going to name any of the institutions, but there's some big name brand stores that are actually raising the prices on a lot of their items. Why? Because they want to get ahead of this thing in case people start looting. If things get out of control, they're going to lose a lot of money on their products, because people aren't going to go into the stores and pay for this stuff. They're just gonna go in, take what they want, what they feel they need to survive, and leave. But if you're listening to this video, if you're watching this video right now, then you're one of the ones who had the forethought, the what's the word I'm looking for? You had sense enough to go ahead and be prepared. This is one of the issues that came up a lot between my wife and myself. You know, she doesn't believe in prepping or preparing. And, I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. It's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. And those of us who are prepared, those of us who are preppers, those of us who have been scorned and talked about, ridiculed, just every ungodly thing that you can call a person. Those of us who have endured, now's the time that you are proven right. One of my local one of the local stores here where I live, and it's a big name brand store, closed the doors until further notice. I mean, it's getting a lot worse than what I originally thought. Personally, my thoughts was it'll go for a couple of months and it would be, it'll be done and over with. But unfortunately, that's not the case. And so those of us who've prepared, I commend you for having the forethought to take care of yourself and your family. We've seen in past circumstances, past situations, that FEMA just will not be able to handle the situation when it really breaks down. I'm hoping to actually get a lot of things squared away in the next couple of weeks. Like I said, this building my own home out in my bug out location was probably one of the best decisions I made last year. And I did a couple of videos mentioning that there was going to be some big changes, and this is by far the biggest change. But there's just a lot of things that all of us should be doing if we haven't. People are running out buying water and food and different household items. The sanitary Clorox, the Lysol, all of these things. And it's okay to have all of that, but you need to know what to use if you can't get that stuff. There's other plant-based cleaners and disinfectants that you can use to help fight against this virus. Now, here's one of the things that is a real concern for me, is that the actual cure for this virus, when they decide to release it to the public, will do more harm than good. I feel like it'll be one of these things where you'll take it if you were showing symptoms, you'll clear up, but it's implanted a different strand of the same virus that's going to be worse. Now, pandemics, guys, most of the time, when you have a pandemic, it comes in waves. This is the first wave. Even though we may get it under wraps, slow it down, and may even think that we've eliminated or eradicated it, that won't be the case, because it'll be dormant in a lot of people. And You just have to be careful about how you handle yourself out in public. Me, personally, me and my family, we have enough food, we have enough water, we have enough materials to be self-sufficient for a good while. And so that was one of my biggest concerns, is having the necessary components to put together to be self-sufficient. And hopefully you guys are staying safe, you're staying prepared, and keep your head up while you move forward. Now, a lot of you saw the video I did 2 or 3 weeks ago, planting potatoes out in the woods. Well, that's just the first step of being prepared for me. Since I'm building my home, one of the things that I was looking at is actually planting crops that were very, very low maintenance. Root crops. I'm not going to do many leafy greens because I don't really have a way to contain them away from the wildlife. So my focus is doing root crops, and I'll keep my fruit trees and berry bushes and that type thing. And so that's about it. But look for a video, guys, coming out on Planting Alabama on the different crops you should grow when you bug out. And so I'm putting that video together. I've just got a lot of stuff going on right now, guys, but I really, really do appreciate each and every one of you for taking the time out of your day to watch my videos as I post them on both channels. And I really, really do appreciate it. And so right now I'm going to sign off on this video, but from my heart, guys, I want you all to stay safe. And if you do not have to go out to public areas, please don't do it. You should have enough provisions for you and your family so that you can stay indoors or just stay around your home in general, without having to interact with the public. Also, guys, it may sound crazy, but here's a couple of tips before I go. When you go, if you order anything online, supplies, whatever it may be, spray it down before you bring it into your home. Wear some type of protective gloves. Spray down, because you don't know who's been handling the items that are coming to you. Your mail, spray it down before you get it out of your mailbox. You don't know. Maybe your postmaster is carrying the virus. You just never know how it'll come in and invade your home. So just stay safe, guys. Stay prepared. God bless you. From you, Prepper.